France witnessed a high voter turnout as the country is voting in the second round of parliamentary elections on Sunday. With the poll fever high, the far-right National Rally is looking to make major gains. DD India's Abhishek Bose brings you this report.
It has been a mega Sunday for France as the nation went for the second round of parliamentary election. This time, all the limelight is caught by Marine Le Pen's far-right party, National Rally. The party is bidding for power, but likely to fall short of an absolute majority, potentially resulting in a chaotic and hung parliament. From the general populace to the top leaders like President Emmanuel Macron and Prime Minister Gabriel Attal cast their ballot on Sunday. According to French Interior Ministry, voter turnout in the second round of election was significantly higher than the last time in 2022. Many voters expressed concern over the rise of the far right.
I think it's sad for the National Rally to have a majority. Well, I don't understand. I can't analyze it. Why people could vote for the National Rally, I don't know why.
Some voters saw the current trends as an opportunity for democracy.
I think it's a democracy, and if the voters pick a party from the far right or the far left, then that current has to be respected. I think it's an opportunity.
1,000 miles away in New Caledonia, an overseas French territory in the southwestern Pacific, voters queued to cast their votes, hoping the election would bring peace and stability to the territory. There are 577 seats in the National Assembly. For a majority, a party needs 289 seats. Le Pen's party came out on top in the first round of polling on June 30. Meanwhile, left-wing and centrist parties have joined forces in a bid to prevent the National Rally from securing an absolute majority. Recent polls suggest that Le Pen's party may fall short of an absolute majority while still being the largest party. If a hung parliament occurs, it would significantly erode President Emmanuel Macron's influence and lead to an extended period of political deadlock and policy stagnation in the Eurozone's second largest economy. The far-right party's skepticism towards France's engagement with the EU and NATO could also weaken these organizations and impact the global economy. All in all, this election is arguably the most significant in Europe's history in decades, as France navigates this critical political moment. Abhishek Bose for DD India.
DD India correspondent Ross Cullen is joining us now from Paris. Ross, how is the final round of polling coming along, and by when can we expect to know the outcome of these snap parliamentary polls?
Well, let me take you through the turnout figures for now, because we get an indication at 12 p.m. local time. We've just had the 5 p.m. indication, and that shows that turnout at the moment, 59%. So it is slightly up on last week, which itself was a record not seen since the 1980s. So we are also seeing very high numbers, projected to be 67% at the final tally at 8 p.m. There's just 25 minutes left for people to vote in some towns and villages where polling stations do close a bit early at 6 p.m. Here in the big cities like Paris, they're open until 8 p.m. You can see the polling station here behind me. They have actually seen some fewer numbers compared to last Sunday. They're down slightly here, but the overall picture nationally is very much up, with millions of people heading back to the ballots for this decisive runoff vote. We should know the exit poll projected results when the polling stations in big cities like this close at 8 p.m. So shortly after 8 p.m. local time, we should get that first picture of what the results look like.
Right, Ross. Also, we know that so many candidates that were rivaling National Rally candidates have withdrawn from the contest, and we also know that this is not new political maneuvering at the same time. But could the math deplete the numbers of National Rally and work in favor of Macron's Ensemble Alliance or the New Popular Front?
Yes, it's something that we have seen before. Historically, there have been these agreements between rival candidates who might dislike each other, might come from different parties, but they share the greater aim overall of stopping the far right from accessing power. So we have seen this attempt in certain areas, some 80 candidates from Emmanuel Macron's party and more than 100 from the left-wing coalition have agreed to step down in order not to split the anti-far right vote. However, there's no denying that based on the elections from the first round last weekend and going into this weekend, we do have the National Rally in the premier place. They are certainly polling greatest and they do stand to win the biggest number of seats if the polls are correct. That would have all sorts of different ramifications. We also know there is the possibility of a hung parliament, the possibility of a national unity government, all sorts of different consequences from the mathematics from this election, because there is just so much up in the air, because there is just so much at stake.
We leave it at that. Ross Cullen reporting from Paris.